Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to use DIBELS to progress monitor your students. So how to get to the DIBELS website is you just open up your browser. I've tried the DIBELS website with the Chrome and also with Safari, and I think they both work about the same. I haven't tried Firefox, but it does work with either browser. So you can either Google vport, and it's just the first one that comes up, this Voyager Sopris Learning. And then once you get here, I like to bookmark this page. That way you can have easy access to it, and then it just shows on your bookmarks and it's really easy to get to. So when you're on the login page, just go ahead and put your login. The student site for the students to log in is different, so make sure that as a teacher, if you're logging in, the site looks like this. So go ahead and log in. And when you log in, it'll show you this page. This is the school page, and you want to be on your personal class. So you'll see this classes drop box. Right now it says all. Go ahead and click on the scroll and find your class. I have an example class right now so that I'm not sharing any students' information or names. So this example class is a second grade class. And any class that you click on, you'll see these 4 tabs up here. The tab that you'll most be focusing on in this video, because this video is strictly a progress monitoring tutorial, we'll be focusing mostly on this My Class tab. I can make another video that shows how to work the entire site and how to navigate differently. But for this video, we're just going to focus on the My Class tab. So go ahead and click on My Class. And it automatically pops up the roster. And that's okay, because I like to make sure that all the students that I need are there. And if they're not, this is where you can go to fix that. So you can go to Add Students. And there's 3 ways you can add students. You can either create a new student for any new students that you may have in your class. Import students. This may be helpful in the beginning of the year when you have a whole bunch of new students. You want to import an entire class. You can do that this way through an Excel sheet. And down here, the third option is to add existing students. This is a way to transfer students to your class from a different class, or if they left the school but they're still in the vport system, you can add them back to your class this way. But I will show you an example of adding a new student. So their last name, first name, and then their ID number. The reason I wanted to show you this specifically was because I was having a lot of issues with the ID number when I was trying to add a bunch of new students. I was typing in their school ID number, which is what the registrar might give you. And then I called the vport help desk, and they were telling me that this ID for DIBELS doesn't correlate with any kind of school ID that the student may have. So this ID number is basically just for you and your own organization to look up a student faster. You don't need to use their ID number when you're looking up a student. You can use their last name if you would like. So any ID number, I've just been putting in random ID numbers. So second grade. Okay, and then if we go down, that example student we just put in should be there. Now, before you go to Progress Monitor, you want to go back to Return to Class Roster. And you just want to check this box right here to make sure that it will allow you to add the student's scores. If this box is unchecked, the student's scores won't be able to be added in. So make sure that's checked right there, and then save changes. And then you should have your entire class right here. Now to Progress Monitor, you want to go back up to that My Class tab and go to Enter Scores. once you get to enter scores, you'll see this page. You'll see that the example student that we had right here does not have any scores right now, but to put scores in for this student, you would click this, and this would be their benchmark scores. So they're not progress monitoring yet. This would be their benchmark scores. Choosing a test period. This first test period is the beginning of the year testing. The second tab is the middle of the year testing, and the third tab is the end of the year testing. Right now, it defaulted to the second benchmark because that is what we've been testing the students is their second benchmark. So this is all their scores from the second benchmark right here. So I'm not going to add any scores for this example student because it would take you through the entire process. And right now I just want to show you how to progress monitor. So ignore that student right now. To progress monitor the students that already have their benchmark scores, go to progress monitoring. And this nifty page will come up where you will see the students' scores and the color where they fell. These red students are the students that need to be progress monitored every single week. The yellow students are the students that need to be progress monitored bi-weekly. And the green students are the students that need to be progress monitored monthly. So up here you'll see week 1, week 2, week 3, and it goes on. So every single column for each week is not going to have a score in it. So for week 1, you're only going to have scores for your red students because they need to be tested every week. But your green and yellow students don't need to be tested every single week. So you wouldn't have a score in there for them. Week 2, you would have your red students, again, because they need to be tested every single week. And you would also have your yellow students because they need to be tested bi-weekly. Your greens, you're not going to have in week 2 yet because you don't need to test them yet. Week 3 and week 4 is dependent on the month. If we had a break, like a spring break or a winter break, then you may need to test your green students in week 3. If it's a normal month, you may test them in week 4. But again, you'll have your red students. And you may or may not have your yellow students depending on the month, and you may or may not have your green students depending on the month. So week 3 or week 4 is dependent on what month we're in and if there were any breaks that month. So if we go to week 1 and I want to progress monitor a red student, I would click on this little pencil and paper tab right here. That's just to administer the student's assessment. So go ahead and click there. And it has you select a passage. So I'm just going to leave it at the one that it defaulted to, and I'll push OK. And then on this page, you want to make sure that all the information is correct, that the student's name is correct, the measure that you're using is correct, that's the one we chose, and that the teacher is correct. So all this information looks correct, and I can continue. And this page right here, this is a video on how to test the student. So I'm not going to continue and go through all of this because this video will tell you exactly what you need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. And after I progress monitor this red student, I would move on to my next red student, and then I would be finished with my progress monitoring. Their scores would be entered, and you don't need to fill anything in these boxes. Once you administer the test with this button, their score gets filled in automatically and their error count gets filled in automatically. So you will never have to manually enter any scores or any numbers like that. It does it all for you. When you're finished, you can push Save Changes. And it is as simple as that. So if you have any other questions about progress monitoring, please let me know. Of course, I will make other videos on how to navigate the site further, go over any results, and anything else that you may have questions with. Thanks for watching.